friends, to our cozy farmhouse holiday home tour 2025. I'm so excited you're here. Picture yourself stepping into a home where rustic charm meets holiday magic, where the glow of twinkling lights warms up chilly winter nights. In today's video, we'll walk through every festive corner, from the sparkling tree and charming mantel to the welcoming farmhouse porch. You'll discover practical tips that are easy to recreate, even on a budget. So, grab a cup of cocoa, get cozy by the fire, and let's dive into this seasonal tour that will make your farmhouse feel merry and bright. Before we even step inside, let's talk about the vibe of this year's holiday season. 2025 is all about cozy elegance. Think natural textures, classic greenery, and vintage-inspired details with a fresh twist. Instead of overwhelming color palettes, we're seeing softer whites, warm wood tones, and hints of copper and brass. The goal is to create a space that feels inviting yet uncluttered, perfect for both family gatherings and quiet evenings. As we move through this tour, keep an eye on how these design choices tie everything together. Our journey begins right at the entryway, where first impressions matter most. I layered a simple jute runner over a red and white plaid rug for instant holiday charm. On the console table, I placed vintage brass candlesticks, small evergreen branches in a weathered pitcher, and a framed family photo from last Christmas. A cluster of battery-powered candles provides a warm, flickering glow without any fuss. Remember, an entryway sets the tone for your entire home, so keep it inviting and fuss-free. The living room is where most of the holiday memories are made, so I went all in on the cozy farmhouse feel. Soft plaid throws, chunky knit pillows, and a classic neutral-toned area rug set a relaxed base. To add seasonal warmth, I used accents of forest green and deep burgundy in the throw blankets and stockings. A few sprigs of fresh cedar in a vintage crock next to the sofa bring nature indoors. The overall effect is warm, lived in, and absolutely ready for evenings by the fire. Now, let's talk about the tree, the star of the holiday show. This year, I chose a slim Fraser fir to save floor space while still feeling full and lush. I dressed it in a mix of handmade ornaments, vintage glass baubles, and Scandinavian-style paper stars for that timeless yet eco-chic look. Soft white twinkle lights create a warm glow, and I finished with a simple linen tree skirt and a burlap ribbon garland. The mix of textures, from wood to paper to glass, adds depth and makes the tree feel collected over time. A farmhouse holiday mantle should feel both effortless and special. I started with a lush garland of cedar, pine, and eucalyptus, letting it drape naturally over the edges. For added sparkle, I wove in a delicate copper wire light strand. Above the mantle, a simple vintage mirror reflects the tree's twinkle lights, making the room feel even cozier. Stockings in a mix of cable knit and plaid patterns hang neatly beneath, each tied with a velvet ribbon and a sprig of holly for that final touch of farmhouse magic. The dining room is where loved ones gather, so it deserves special attention. I kept the farmhouse table simple with a neutral linen runner topped with cedar sprigs, brass candlesticks, and clusters of pine cones. For each place setting, I layered cream stoneware plates over woven chargers and added a small sprig of rosemary tucked into a linen napkin tied with twine. It's simple yet elegant, proving you don't need fancy decor to make a meal feel special during the holidays. The kitchen often gets overlooked in holiday decorating, but it's truly the heart of the home. I added a few subtle seasonal touches, a wreath above the range hood, a bowl of clementinas on the counter for color and fragrance, and a small vintage-style tree in a crock on the island. Wooden cutting boards and copper utensils stay out as functional decor, adding warmth and charm. The key is to keep your kitchen festive but still practical for all the cooking and baking that happens this season. For those of you with open shelving, a hallmark of farmhouse kitchens, holiday decorating can be both simple and striking. I swapped out a few everyday dishes for seasonal mugs, cream-colored pitchers, and sprigs of faux greenery. A stack of plaid napkins adds a cheerful pop of color, while small framed winter prints fill in the gaps. By keeping the color palette consistent, the shelves look festive but never feel overcrowded. the bedrooms get a touch of farmhouse holiday cheer. I switched out the usual bedding for soft flannel sheets and a plaid duvet, then draped a chunky knit throw at the foot of the bed. A small tabletop tree in a galvanized bucket sits on the dresser, and a few sprigs of cedar tied with twine adorn the bedside lamps. These small, thoughtful details transform the bedroom into a peaceful, cozy retreat during the colder months. If you're hosting loved ones this season, a welcoming guest room makes a big difference. I placed a small pre-lit tree on the nightstand and stocked a basket with fresh towels, a holiday-scented candle, and a few homemade cookies. A throw blanket in classic Christmas red folded neatly at the foot of the bed adds a cheerful splash of color. It's a simple way to show guests they're truly welcome and cared for during their stay. Now, let's step outside to the porch, which sets the tone before anyone even enters the house. A pair of simple pine trees in galvanized tubs flank the door, while a vintage-style sleigh leans casually against the wall. I layered 2 doormats, a classic coir mat over a plaid rug, to add texture and warmth. A wooden crate filled with logs and fairy lights by the rocking chair makes the porch feel ready for hot cocoa evenings. One of my favorite farmhouse holiday traditions is incorporating natural greenery. This year, I made my own wreaths using cedar, eucalyptus, and dried oranges for a fresh yet traditional look. These wreaths hang on the front door, bedroom doors, and even in the kitchen window. For garlands, I mixed real cedar with faux pine to create longer, fuller strands that will last the whole season. Adding natural elements keeps the decor timeless and fragrant. Decor isn't just visual, it's about creating an experience. I've scattered scented candles with notes of pine, cinnamon, and vanilla throughout the home. Lanterns on the porch and battery-powered candles on shelves and mantels give that soft, flickering glow without the worry of open flames. Fresh pine cones in bowls and simmering pots of orange slices with cloves fill the air with a cozy, nostalgic aroma that completes the farmhouse holiday feel. You don't need to spend a fortune to create a beautiful farmhouse holiday look. Shop your own home first. Old baskets can hold extra blankets, mason jars make charming candle holders, and scraps of ribbon can tie up napkins or gifts. Thrift stores are treasure troves for vintage ornaments and candlesticks, while simple DIYs like drying orange slices or making paper snowflakes add a personal, homespun touch. The charm of farmhouse style often comes from the stories behind the pieces you use. At the end of the day, the holidays aren't about picture-perfect decor but about the memories we make with loved ones. I like to set out a big crock of hot cocoa by the fireplace with mugs and toppings so guests can help themselves. A vintage basket by the tree holds cozy slippers for chilly evenings. Little thoughtful gestures like these remind us that farmhouse holiday style is all about warmth, hospitality, and a welcoming spirit. As we walk back through the house, you'll notice how each room ties together through consistent textures, natural greenery, warm metals, soft textiles, and candlelight. The decor isn't overdone or too formal, it's approachable and homey. Whether you live in a countryside farmhouse or a suburban house, the goal is the same, to create a space that feels both festive and truly lived in, where your personal touches shine through. Thank you so much for joining me on this cozy farmhouse holiday home tour 2025. I hope you found plenty of inspiration, from the tree and mantel to the porch, to bring warmth and charm to your own home this season. If you enjoyed the tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends who love farmhouse style. May your holidays be filled with peace, joy, and the simple pleasures of a beautifully decorated home. Happy decorating, and happy holidays!